What's up? And welcome. Dreadlock Pac here, aka Big Brain, Warlock Main, and my goal today is to inform and entertain. Depending on when, where you are in space time, we have approximately a handful of resets left until Lightfall, Destiny Punk 2077 hits us. And when it does make an impact, it's bound to shake up a few things, from the meta to the weapon selection to how we handle and approach build crafting. Some of our current builds are getting sunset, impotent ones may become elite, others are going beyond light. Shout out to Warmon Sales, y'all been a real one. While there's a possibility that some impossible combinations might be able to step into reality now. In any event, I would like to showcase a build. A build that I will definitely try to translate as much as possible in the coming expansion. A build that should be playing in the background. This is the DC version of Henry Cavill with max intellect, or Frozone after his wife let him tackle the greater good. This is the setup I like to call the super quick, super build, or dynamic distribution utilized. Now, with the intro in the past, allow me to present the goal of the build. As the title states, it is a super quick super build. The goal is obviously acquiring our super as fast as possible. Most of my vet guardians already know of the potency of the dynamic distribution combo. While this is at the core of the build, I also want to deposit this formula or nugget of knowledge inside of your memory bank. The more class ability we have, the more potential supers we can utilize. This was the driving mindset that motivated this creation into reality. After that, everything else just feeds into the loop and reinforces the playstyle. You've also got things like aspects, fragments, weapon perks, exotics. You have a multitude of ways to enhance this loop, and I encourage you to test the limits of this. Before I start getting too specific though, allow me to share some insights from my personal experience. This is a mod kit. It is omni-class also, meaning that it operates or functions the same across all classes, independent of your subclass, the guardian type. Do take note though, that depending on which guardian type you are, the amount of super gain you get from the D8 combo, distribution dynamo, it differs. Hunters seem to gain the least, while Titans are pretty decent, and Warlocks. Yeah, we not here. Apart from that, I couldn't notice any differences between the classes. There is a difference in the PvE versus PvP space though. Things like Crucible and Gambit, they're a little bit more stingy when it comes to the super energy. While in the PvE sphere, this build doesn't skip a beat. It can be in battlegrounds, raids, GMs or patrols, void, solar, stasis, arc. If you remember the loot, you got your suit. Alright, so now that I've sprinkled a little bit of insight, let's talk about the mandatories and then dive into the build. What you need. So, starting at the armor, you're gonna need 4 void pieces and 1 solar. Out of those 4 void pieces, you're gonna want to make your helmet void because of 2 dynamos. Everything else can fall into place where you put them. Personally, I tend to make my chest piece solar, but it's your build, so your configuration. And as far as the mandatories go, that is the end of the list. I guess we can talk about the build now. So you've got the goal, you know the loop, you've seen a few big brain, what I mean, insights. It's time to talk about the mod kit. Now, my kindergartens at the head of the class have already slotted in the core to setup. I see you. In the helmet, you got 2 dynamos. In the class item, 2 distributions. Dynamo states reduces the super cooldown when using your class ability near targets, while distribution says reduces all ability cooldowns when using your class ability by targets. So, this is where the loop is born. You use your class ability near targets, your super profits. But what if we had a way to enhance this loop? What if we could take it a step further, to infinity and beyond? What if there was a way to circumvent certain cooldowns or navigate a way to our goal quicker? Spoilers, we do. Starting at any of your void armor pieces, we're going to harvest the power of Reaping Wellmaker, allowing us to produce a void elemental well consistently while engaging with our established loop. This void elemental well production is a beautiful piece of the full design, one which we will constantly be taking advantage of. To utilize this void well, go to your remainder void pieces and apply 3 well of utilities. The cost is cheap, the effect is multiplied or it stacks, but most importantly, it allows the void wells that we acquire to grant us class ability energy. You're starting to see it now, right? Now, you could go 4 well of utilities, but I'm going to show you why that last armor piece is solar. So, Bountiful Wells. It reads, elemental well mods that cause you to spawn elemental wells can now stack, spawning additional elemental wells for the copy of the mods that you have equipped. Basically, with this mod enhanced, Reaping Wellmaker not only generates 1, but 2 wells after using the loop, and we also get the benefit from Well of Utility on each of those void wells. Now, there's a little bit of nuance here, or a small learning curve if you want to call it that. When you pick these up, you want to space out your well acquisition to about half a second. Doing this seems to be a generous net gain to your class ability, while the hasty acquisition benefits way less. That's a small detail that, if recognized and acted upon, it just helps the overall sauce of the build. So, quick recap. Use your class ability by enemies around threat detector range. Your super energy profits. Reaping Wellmaker activates, which means that your next weapon Final Blow spawns a void elemental well. Now, you acquire those wells, apart if possible, to refill your class ability energy, and then you rinse and repeat. Lavate las manos. It's a lot of moving parts working together individually to benefit the whole. And remember, all of it is possible no matter the class, subclass, combination of exotics, whatever. Anything extra is just that. It's extra. So if you can find some benefiting factors, factor them in. Multiply an effect here or there. Divide another cooldown in half if possible. Explore, discover, experiment. But most of all, man, get out there and have some fun. You have things like 6 Coyote or Icefall mantles, weapons like Bad Juju or Enhanced Thresh on a craftable weapon. You also got your selection of fragments like Ember Ascension in conjunction with Incandescent, Whisper of Bonds while defeating something frozen. There's so many combinations that I could probably do a whole nother video and multiple sequels and probably have more than the Scream movies alone. But a few combinations that really took it to the next level for me would be Vesper of Radius on any element. G Falcons was really fun, so was Heart of Innermost Light, and Fallen Sunstar. Speaking of, shoutouts to all my clanmates who helped me experiment with some amazing setups and gave me some good ideas as well. If there was one combo that I must suggest for everyone to try, please go to your collections, grab Cold Heart and Sunstar, and give it a try. Just try it. My clanmate kept nudging me to try it, and now I'm nudging you. Do go out there and experiment though with your own style, because I know I would love to see some unique combos in the comments, and there's no telling who else may be inspired by what you can put together. After all, Lightfall is in sight, and once it gets here, we may not be able to replicate this. But it won't be for lack of trying though. We've been privy to some juicy teases as to how some things will change, but we don't have the overall picture, so for the time being, magic carpe diem. But I think that's all the playful puns and articulate expression of big brain warlock main like me can muster for this video. I would like to take a moment and thank every single last one of my mentors and supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be me and this wouldn't exist. So I hope my vet guardians and newberries have found or gained anything useful from this, and to any and everyone still watching, I appreciate your time. If you like what you see, triple tap that like button for me, and if you enjoy the vibe, subscribe. It has been me in the present, talking to you from the past. I hope to catch you guardians in the future. Adios, I'm Ghost. Guardian out.